Her voice shook through the phone. "Don't go home. Go somewhere, anywhere, just please trust me." She didn't explain. She didn't need to. My grandmother was not a woman of panic. She was iron, carved from a generation that survived famine and war. If fear cracked her voice, it was real. So I listened. I turned the car away from my street. Seconds later, red and blue lights exploded in my rearview mirror. Police cars. Dozens. They swarmed my block like vultures. And in that moment, I understood. Someone had set me up. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the shadows of a 24-hour diner, staring at untouched coffee, playing the scene over and over in my mind. The police weren't after my neighbors, they were after me. And there was only one person who could have engineered it: Daniel, my fiancé, the man I once believed was my future. I met him when my walls were low, my heart reckless. He was charm packaged in certainty. The kind of man who looked at you like you were the only one in the room. My friends called him a gift. My grandmother, though, had only narrowed her eyes. "Be careful," she'd said quietly. "Some smiles are sharpened blades." I laughed it off then. I wanted to believe in him. But love, I've learned, is the perfect camouflage for betrayal. The first cracks were subtle. Business trips that didn't align with his receipts. Calls he stepped outside to take. His sudden obsession with my finances, where I saved, how much, what passwords I used. I didn't confront him, not immediately. I pretended ignorance. But I began watching him the way a predator studies prey. Quietly, patiently. And then I found it. An account in my name, filled with money I never deposited. Transfers from places I never worked. He was building a trail, a paper cage meant to collapse around me. He didn't love me. He was framing me. That night, when the police raided my street, I understood the timing. He had moved quickly, maybe too quickly, ready to erase me while smiling into my parents' faces, ready to play the grieving fiancé after I was gone. But my grandmother's call ruined his script, and I wasn't about to let the curtain close on me. I didn't run. Running meant guilt. Instead, I planned. Step 1, disappear publicly, but not physically. No contact with Daniel. No contact with friends he could manipulate. Only my grandmother knew where I was. Step 2, gather proof. I slipped into my apartment when I knew he was gone. I copied his drives, his emails, the encrypted folder on his laptop he thought was invisible. Inside were documents, wire transfers, conversations with people I didn't know, each one tying me to crimes I hadn't committed: money laundering, fraud, theft. But in his arrogance, he left trails of his own, notes to himself, instructions he forgot to delete, enough to flip the narrative. Step 3, align with power. I didn't go to the police, not yet. I went higher. A private investigator my grandmother trusted, a lawyer who owed her favors, and a journalist who smelled blood. We built the story brick by brick. Not just proof of my innocence, proof of his guilt. 3 weeks later, he called me. His voice was smooth, practiced. "Where are you? People are worried. I'm worried." I almost laughed. Instead, I let silence stretch. Then I asked, "Do you ever get nervous, Daniel, that the lies you spin might strangle you instead?" His pause told me everything. He knew I knew. The climax came quietly. Not a gunshot, not a chase, just headlines. Local businessman accused of fraud, money laundering. Evidence linked him to multiple scams. By the time the police knocked on his door, his empire of lies had already collapsed under the weight of exposure. His face was plastered across every channel, not as a grieving fiancé, but as a criminal mastermind undone by his own schemes. And me? I walked freely through the city, untouched, invisible to suspicion. Because I hadn't fought his story, I rewrote it. I saw him once more before they took him away. In the courthouse, handcuffed, his eyes searching the crowd. When he found me, his lips parted, forming my name, like a question. I stepped closer, so only he could hear. "You wanted me in a cage," I whispered, "but look who's behind bars." His face twisted, rage, disbelief, humiliation. It was all I needed. Now, when I sit with my grandmother at her kitchen table, she sometimes asks if I regret it. I don't. Regret is for the blind. I saw clearly. I acted precisely. Daniel taught me one thing. Betrayal is a knife you don't see coming. But revenge? Revenge is a mirror. You hand the betrayer their own weapon and watch them cut themselves. And me? I didn't just survive. I won.